Symptoms of timeline jumping, oh boy it's timeline Bazaar. By Inelia Benz. May 23, 2016. Website: ascension101.com. Produced by Higher Self.
As a young child, about 3 to 4 years old, I became aware of the timeline in which I was living. When I realized which one it was, I had a total breakdown. I didn't stop crying for 3 days. I lost my voice and ran out of tears. I didn't sleep or eat, just cried inconsolably. At the end of the 3 days, and when I started fading, my parents took me to the doctor, who injected me with a tranquilizing agent and sent me home. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, all was well. I had a very clear knowing even then that we have many timeline options, and also that the one we are in is not a good one if you don't like drama or pain. But I stayed. Throughout my life I have had clear points where I experienced a timeline shift, resulting in very specific life changes. Some were positive, some were negative. Most of these, but not all, were taken unconsciously. And the memory and sense of the other timeline, the one I did not choose, was very close, active, almost reachable, for a while. In all those situations my sense of personal timeline stayed put. It was me who was staying in this choice, and another timeline branching off into the other choice with a slightly different Inelia on it. Me, but not my experience. Except for one timeline shift that was different to all the rest. That one happened just over a week ago, and the difference was that I knew and felt that the experience of me had come in from a different timeline into this one. Instead of having a clear and solid memory and reality that this was my timeline, the opposite was true. My timeline and life up to that point was completely different. And at that point I entered into this timeline into completely unfamiliar surroundings and relationships. The other interesting aspect was that I immediately knew what was happening, and that soon I would be able to access this timeline's memory constructs and reality, and be able to live in it without anyone knowing. The other distinct difference is that I have clear, although fading, recollection of my life in the other timeline. And it was very different. Our species was not plagued with war or fear, there were no roads, and all houses were 0 or minus impact. Gaia was fully activated and vibrating at her true frequency in our reality. Our species actively worked to keep a healthy and active link and communication with Gaia and all her creatures. What does any of this have to do with our combined human story? In the past few weeks, April and May 2016, there has been a flurry of timeline jumping on the planet, both at a personal level, as individuals commit to what paradigm they want to embody, and at a collective level as we start aligning to those people and stories that are more resonant to our choices. Timelines, just like groups of people in our own timeline here, are dictated by our choices. When we truly choose to partake in a reality, we come together with others who are very much in alignment with that choice and move forward together. Have a look and see what realities and timelines you are stepping in and out of. Where is your focus of attention? Where and to whom is your energy going to? What are you feeding with your emotions, and what is the nature of those emotions? Symptoms of timeline jumping. The physical body elemental is not at all happy with the shifting and moving of timelines. When this starts happening, the body becomes highly stressed and tense. This causes cramps and also pain on the back of the neck and shoulders, with a feeling of something tight around the head, or a headache that won't go away. A sense that you don't know what you are doing in that house or that workplace, it suddenly feels unfamiliar and that you belong somewhere else. Fantastic alternative daydreams about your own past. Memories that you know never happened. You may have had a moment, or more moments, when you had no idea where you were, who the people around you were, and thought perhaps you were getting Alzheimer's or another type of mental incapacity. You clearly know that the decision you just took has marked your life forever. The change might be slow to appear, but it is permanent. Your body suddenly heals, or some unknown ailment is suddenly identified and the right treatment is also available. There is an interest you have had for years, for which there was hardly any information, and suddenly there are hundreds of books and websites about it out there. You go to someone's house, sometimes your own, and there is an object there that is different to how we remember it. A different color, shape, location, design, and you disregard the unfamiliarity because it must have been always like that. Yet, you noticed it was now different. Sentences like, "Oh, I never noticed that the lamp had a string switch," or "I always thought that dresser was turquoise, but it's blue." People around you seem slightly unfamiliar, although you have known them a long time or your entire life. It feels to your body like you have just met. These are a few of the symptoms of timeline jumping we can spot in our lives. The question then comes, what do we do about it? Well, first of all, we can understand and relax into them. No, you are not mad, are not losing your mind, your memories haven't suddenly gone awry, and secondly, realize that this is a great opportunity for you to make a lifelong commitment to live on your highest frequency by choice. Become interested in your surroundings, in your life choices, in your people. Who are my people? Everyone you touch with your energy. Most of all, know that this is real, that we are going through the step in our evolution where we can, if we so choose, be aware of how subtle reality really is, and how thin the walls between dimensions and timelines really are. It is a very exciting time. Know that you can now consciously choose highly resonant timelines.